in South Africa. Now, infrastructure development in the continent is said to be key to unlocking its economic potential. According to Fana Marutla, the president of the South African Institution of Civil Engineering, rail projects are the answer, and they will create jobs and they will help to drive trade. He's in the studio to chat to me about this. Fana, thank you for chatting to me. I was just making the point before we went live about the fact that it's been, what, 9 years since the last railway line was laid down in South Africa?
Absolutely. I think you're referring to the Gautrain network.
The Gautrain, indeed, yes.
Yeah, I think, you know, Gautrain has been a good example of what is called the Triple P project. It's one of those projects that have created quite a lot of jobs. I think using that as an example, about 37,000 jobs were created during the Gautrain in South Africa, and of those, 33,000 of those were just for South Africans.
Sure.
I think our economy at the moment, I think just talking about the National Development Plan, the National Development Plan aspires to create 11 million jobs by 2030. Its horizon...
We know it's a pipe dream. Let's call it for what it is. This economy is not creating jobs, and we know it.
It is not doing that, but it is still... we still need to have the hope. I think it's important that we don't put it aside and say it's not going to happen. So I think we must do the best we can to try and create jobs for our economy.
Let's talk about the theory first. So your argument is that if the government were to embark on a massive upgrade of the current rail system, let's not talk about putting in new railway lines, just an upgrade, there would be a proliferation of jobs. Please explain how that would work.
Yeah, I think you still, Godfrey, you need both. You need the building or construction of new lines, but also you need...
But Fana, the point I'm making is that it's not happening. So let's hope first for upgrades, right?
It is going to happen.
Okay, all right. You tell me. I'm going to ask you how you think that's going to happen.
I'll give you an example. At the moment, we are working on extending the Gautrain network. Right? I don't know if you're familiar with the project to expand the Gautrain network.
I was actually discussing with my wife the other day, and we were saying, but where is the planning? Is anything happening? Have they forgotten about it? Are they too broke to do anything about it?
I'm actually at the heart. I'm part of the team that is working on the expansion of the Gautrain. So the aim is to build a new line from Sandton to Randburg, and then from Randburg to around Northgate.
Yes. And then 4 ways as well.
Later on, so it's actually in phases.
So the Randburg line is the first one?
The Randburg line is the first one. So basically, Sandton, Randburg, Northgate, Northgate to Little Falls, and then eventually to Soweto. That is what is called the phase 1. Okay. So it is going to happen. And later on, there's a phase 2, which will involve the 4 ways line. Eventually, it will end up in Mamelodi area. So that is going to happen. I think what is happening now is we're busy with the confirming the route. I don't want to speak on behalf of the government. I think they are the right channel.
The work you are doing, yes.
Yes, yeah. I'm talking about the work I'm doing, but that is going to happen. It's going to happen, absolutely. When? Well,
just give me broad time frames at least.
I think definitely in the next 5 years, you'll see spades, you'll see wheelbarrows, you'll see things moving.
That's when we think actually things are happening, when the work has started. In terms of that, what's your estimate in terms of the potential jobs that could be created here?
I think let's use the example of what has happened before. I just mentioned earlier that the previous project created 37,000 jobs. At this stage, the actual number of jobs have not been estimated, but we can actually use lessons we have learned from the previous project to say, if we created 37,000 jobs, then it can be done. It's not only the Gautrain. I think we talk about the expansion of the Swaziland railway line as well. So there's a line that is going to be constructed from Emelo via Swaziland to Richards Bay. They call it the Swaziland Rail Link. Even that one is also a Triple P project. So the aim of that line again is to connect the economies of both South Africa and Swaziland through to Richards Bay. But again, there are talks of job creation in those ones.
Could we be talking about creation of million-plus jobs in those projects that you're talking about that have been committed to? In fact, how many are they? Just give us like a quick summary of the potential projects that we're coming through. Because I'm going to tell you what I've been hearing from people on the ground.
No, fair enough. So I just mentioned two now, the Gautrain. I mentioned the Swaziland rail line. And there's also the line. Transnet want to expand the line from Lephalale. I think you heard about the coal reserves in the Lephalale area. So the aim is to transport those coal eventually to end the coal in Richards Bay. So the plan is to build later on. It's not something that will happen in the next 2 years or so, but it's going to be built a heavy haul line from Lephalale eventually ending in MLO.
Yeah.
So that's one of the projects as well that will create jobs when
so these are big projects. These are billions of rands that we're talking about.
Those are billions of projects. Absolutely correct, yes.
Why is the government dragging its feet? Or why haven't those projects come to fruition yet?
Yeah, it's an issue of, I think the biggest delay is issue of funding.
Yeah, government is broke.
You can say that.
I can say that.
You can say that. I can't disagree with you. So the issue is funding, but there are options to bring the private sector on board to say, right. You know, why don't we come with triple P solutions, just
Precisely.
like we did with the
Precisely. Why hasn't that been done?
It is being done, but I think they're just waiting for the right opportune moment for them to start running with those projects.
No, but if you are talking about creating millions of jobs,
yes.
and you are sitting on these potential projects that could create those millions of jobs,
yes.
Does it make sense? Is it in the negotiations of the contract? Is it in the terms of the contract? Is it ideology that's holding it back? What is holding back the government in doing something that would profit them?
Yeah. Like I'm saying, the biggest delay is largely the funding. But in terms of the...
no, but it's not their funding, right? It is private sector funding that we're talking about.
Correct. I think it's a combination of... remember the Gautrain project as well, if I use that as an example, is not 100% privately funded. There's a contribution that was made by the Gauteng government. But also, if you look at the model that was followed, yeah. Even up to now, maybe let me give you an example. The railways in the world, yeah. All the metro rail operators in the world, they are government subsidized. There is no rail operation in metros anywhere in the world.
So there will be need for government money.
There's need for government money. In fact, there was a research, which I can give you an example of. Gautrain has done a research of all the metros, about 32 of them, yeah. Across the world, in Asia, in Europe, in Americas, just checking how many of them are self-funded. Of the 32, only 5 of them were able to cover their operating costs, just from the revenue that you generate.
Right.
The other 27 of them, they are all government subsidized. So it's important to bear that in mind, that whatever is done, yeah. It's important that government need to be ready, yeah. To be able to support those projects and operations.
So your argument is that there will be an explosion of jobs, it's just that it's coming in the future.
It's coming in the future. We would want it to come much quicker.
Yes.
I think that's the desire of everybody. I think the unemployment rate of 29.1% is very high.
No, use the other one, 40%. Because when you use the narrower one, you're actually forgetting other people who are tired of looking for work.
Absolutely. Let's use the one that is communicated by Stats SA. You can expand it if you want.
No,
but it's a challenge.
Stats SA.
Absolutely. No, it's a challenge for all of us. 100%. It's a challenge for our economy. It's important that we get it right.
Absolutely.
In the near future.
In the near future. Fana, I hope it happens during you and my lifetime.
Okay, thank you very much. It's my dream as well.
Fana Marutla, he's head of business development and transportation at GIB, and is president of the South African Institution of Civil Engineering. He is saying there is work that is happening. It's just that it's happening underground, right? Right.